Hi, everyone. This is Jackie from Ladybug Wellness. I am back with one of my interviews with my Reiki students and other important and influential people. Today, I would like to introduce Melissa Rioux from Honeybee Inspirations, Creativity and Wellness. If you notice that we have the same last name, yes, Melissa is my daughter, and I'm having a proud mama moment here, introducing a woman after my own heart who has also followed a holistic path as well. Um, Honeybee Inspirations, it began in 2011 as a way to showcase Melissa's artistic endeavors. Over the years, it has evolved to include creative projects as well as her growing passion for holistic wellness, specifically yoga and reflexology. Melissa has been a world traveler, which is actually the best way to experience life, meet amazing people, and to learn about different countries and cultures. She's also earned a bachelor's degree in history, so she brings a wealth of experiences and knowledge to her artisan crafts and now to her clients as well. So welcome, Melissa.
Yeah.
Would you like to share a little bit about your personal journey and how it has led to where you are today?
Well, you pretty much covered it with the world traveling. I guess I was mostly introduced to yoga through my Aunt Nola, who's my mom's younger sister, and through Buddhism and I guess different holistic routes through started with her, I guess, when I first met her in Thailand, met up with her in Thailand as opposed to meeting her. And did different retreats and such there. And then in 2019, I did my yoga teacher training through Soya, South Okanagan Yoga Academy. And that led to a whole other route of holistic and alternative medicines and therapies. So from yoga, I knew I wanted to do more holistic based wellness stuff. And I was just doing a ton of research and I came across reflexology and that was it. I don't know why, just my gut was like, you're doing that. I was like, okay.
Yes.
So I found some schools. I did some research. I was looking at schools in the Lower Mainland in the Vancouver area, Victoria, and nothing quite lined up. The dates weren't working with my job that I had. Just everything kept falling out of place. And a friend of mine, her mom is actually a experienced reflexologist here in Prince George. She actually retired many years ago. And talking with her, I went over some of the schools and she knew me quite well and she just shook her head and wouldn't explain why not to go to those schools. So I still don't know why. But it kind of lined up with nothing falling into place anyway. And then mom and I went to Terrace, our hometown, for a wellness fair. And while we were there, we met Frances Birdsell, who is the owner and founder of Viva Holistic Healing in Terrace. And lo and behold, she's got a reflexology school, which is RAC, so Reflexology Association of Canada accredited. So she meets all the standards. She would be the same training I would get if I went to a larger city. So that actually worked out quite well because I got to stay with my grandma for free in Terrace. Didn't have to commute for an hour in rush hour in Vancouver. And it all just panned out well. I was meant to begin my studies in January of 2020. But we had quite a harsh winter that year, and Frances ended up having to postpone the course because most people were coming from various parts in the north, and with the highways just being so bad, she just straight up canceled. She's like, I'm not going to risk you guys coming on the highways. It's not worth it. So I ended up starting my training in March 2020.
And that kind
So
of went sideways.
yeah, not too bad. I was actually driving home on March 15th, where I don't know about the rest of the world, but here in BC was right the first day of lockdown, the very first lockdown where everything was just shut right down. So that worked out well. We moved some of the studies online and made up the hours that way. And then when there was lifting of the lockdowns and we were able to go out and do some things, we would schedule a course to get the next level done. And so all in all, COVID thankfully didn't stall my studies too much, and didn't mess that up too much. I was able to get my practicum hours done and get my studies done. And that all kind of panned out. It took a bit longer than planned. I eventually did do the provincial exams and then the federal exams, and now I am a RCRT, which is a registered Canadian reflexology therapist.
Right, you've got a title.
Title.
You also have another designation with them too, with having other students.
So I'm an RAC examiner. So basically, if you are planning on doing reflexology and want to be registered, you have to do a written and a practical exam with a registered examiner, who basically you do a session on them and they tick things off on their little clipboard, and then they mark it and send it off to the association, and then the association will contact you and go over your marks, and you can receive your designation as a registered reflexologist at that point. And hopefully if your client's benefit plans recognize and cover reflexology, then that is one of the perks of that. There's many other perks, of course, of being a member of a professional association that comes into play, and lots of standards that you uphold. So, yeah.
And you've got quite a good name around town too. You've been nominated and awarded on a local
Community votes.
community
Platinum.
votes. That's it.
Yeah.
So you also have some other things. So for reflexology, you offer foot, hand,
hand, and ear. And then with the ear as well, I am also a Ayurvedic head massage practitioner. So I include facial and ear reflexology as part of the head massage sessions that I do. So you can combine them and do, my most popular is the 90-minute head, hand, and foot session. So I start with the head reflexology, the head massage, and then move to the hand reflexology and then foot reflexology. That is definitely the most popular and most booked. I also offer Reiki and Black Pearl technique.
Yes. And that package is actually the one that I always book, and I put in a good word here, not just because I'm her mom, but yes, it is amazing, very relaxing. So about your Reiki journey, I am actually a Reiki master teacher, and Mrs. Takata, who is one of the early pioneers with Reiki in the Usui Reiki lineage, had quoted to say that every family should have a Reiki practitioner, and every family lineage should have at least one master teacher. So Melissa and I have embraced that. So Melissa also has a story in how she took her first level of Reiki just because I had a class available. But then she took her level 1 again with another teacher, and now she's a third level master. So do you want to talk about that?
Well, as you said, I did my level 1 originally, I think it was 2018 or so.
Like that, yeah.
So before I did my yoga teacher training, before I was super in the wellness realm. I'd done yoga before and leaned more to the holistic and natural remedies way anyway, but wasn't quite in the energetic realm at that point. And yeah, living with mom at the time, and she was doing a course and she's like, get up here. I was like, fine.
Yeah.
Wasn't quite open to it at that point, but did the training anyway. Never ended up using it or doing anything with it. And it was after I did my yoga training and wanted to do more holistic stuff that I looked at Reiki again and was more open to it. And I decided to redo my level 1 with another master teacher just to see, I guess, if it would be any different, just to with the familial connection and that, and see if it was any different. It was the same training. I was just personally more ready for it. And I've since done my level 2 and 3 with mom now.
Yeah. So the other teacher was Ashley Preventure, and she's also a wonderful Reiki teacher. So anyone that's interested in Reiki training, I always suggest that any reputable teacher will encourage you to work with train with a practitioner and a teacher that you are most comfortable with. So yeah, I'd like to share that example from Melissa, that be open to having different trainings. So Black Pearl, you also offer that, and that's amazing modality that Melissa just took on a year ago. And Melissa assisted me with an online training this past June 10th, and it went quite well. So now we are looking into making that more into an online training, as to be more available to people everywhere. Do you want to share anything about Black Pearl? Your experiences there?
I've had lots of different experiences and lots of feedback from clients. I've had some that just they're like, okay, cool, that's done, and nothing else. And then I've had some that I had one in particular that saw me several times after. But after the initial one, said she felt like she got hit by a Mack truck. Like her entire body was bruised, but it wasn't a bad thing. It just, I guess a lot shifted for her.
Yeah.
I had another sweet little English lady that was very sweet and calm email to tell me that she felt like she was being a raging B word. And she kind of explained some of the stuff that was going on. It was basically she was starting to put down boundaries. She was getting overlooked at work or dumped on, and basically was, for lack of a better word, being a doormat, and had enough of it and was putting down boundaries. And to somebody with new to boundaries, it felt like she was not being a very kind person, and she wasn't happy about it, but things were going better for her at work. So that was interesting. Yeah.
We do find with the holistic and energetic modalities that it really does open up a whole different level. It addresses not only the physical, but the mental and emotional and spiritual aspects of ourselves. And I think you found with training in Reiki that really opened up a lot of doors for you as well, because Reiki seems to find you. And we have all sorts of little jokes about Reiki, how it just cleans up your life in a good way.
At the time, it doesn't always feel great though. Like, I lost job, lost relationship, lost friendships, that kind of thing. Like just, but when you look back, it's like, yeah, those were not healthy. They were not good. They were not great. And you needed that push to see that and to leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And things are much, much better now.
Much better.
Yes. So that's all the energetic modalities and services that you that you offer. And let's turn to your artisan crafts.
We didn't talk about yoga yet.
Oh yeah, we talked. Okay, let's go into that then. You got a lot of things to offer.
So I teach some regular classes at Angel's Aerial Fitness here in Prince George. So I teach aerial level 1, Zen aerial, and get your Zen on. So level 1 aerial is open to anybody. So within the class, sometimes I'll have somebody that's literally never done yoga or anything remotely fitness wise, and or have some of the regulars that go to even the upper levels come to the class just because they want to slow down and get back to basics. So within a class, you'll have people of all different shapes, sizes, ages, identities, all that, and all sorts of levels. And that class is super fun. We just put on basically a playlist of 90s pop and classic rock and that kind of thing. We just have some fun. The Get Your Zen On is a floor class. So it's a regular yoga class, a yin yoga class. And then the Zen aerial is similar, but it's in the silk. So it's a calm, just mindful yoga, but using the silks as a prop. And then I was teaching a regular Zen, it was called Blissful Yin at Shunik Yoga. That is postponed for the summer. Just Sunday evening classes in the summer generally don't happen very often. Most people are out at the lake or barbecuing or otherwise enjoying the summer. So most Sunday classes are on hiatus over the summer. So we'll revisit that in the fall and see what the studio would like. In the meantime, though, I do still offer workshops there fairly regularly. So I do a yin and tonic workshop that I offer there every few months. And it's a gentle, slow yoga class where I go around and massage in the areas that I would normally do in the head or hand or foot reflexology. And then the other workshop that I do is called Burn the Bullshit. And it's a journaling, intention setting, and yoga workshop where we there's a different theme each time I do it and different focus, but basically write out on scrap piece of paper things that no longer serve us or whatever the focus that we need to let go of. And then we light it on fire, and then we do some positive journaling, and then we do some yoga, and we might do some more journaling. And yeah, that one's quite fun. I am in discussion with the studio owner right now, and looking at doing one of those workshops in July and one in August. Dates have not been confirmed yet, so just keep an eye on social media. And yeah, that's the main yoga stuff, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm not forgetting anything.
All right, now we turn to the artisan stuff.
Sure.
Have you got any samples close by?
No, of course not. They're still all packed up. So we just got back from Valhalla Fest a few days ago. So all my product are still boxed up in their travel boxes out in the spare room at the moment. But I make malas. So they're the 108 bead prayer beads for mantras or for meditation. They're basically like rosaries, but they're a yoga focus, and they're based in a Hindu tradition. I also work with resin, so I've been doing some rune stones with gemstones in them. And what else have I got? I've got tea balls that I've made with little kitties on them and little dragons. I hand make journals. I hand make water marble jewelry. I've got hula hoops. What else am I missing? I know there's way more. I've got different
Keychains
beaded
and
jewelry.
yeah, keychains and bookmarks are quite popular.
Oh yeah, the bookmarks. Yeah, bookmarks are very. So I do a lot of craft stuff. Just different things that catch my interest that I enjoy making. So I have a wide selection of various things. And those are available. I've got pictures of them on my social media and on my website. And then I'm constantly making new stuff that I post about. So I do have a display set up in my treatment room and in the front of Mom's house where my treatment office is. And they're available for purchase, and I can ship as well.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, and I also have I do have product in various local stores. So I've got stuff at Sisters Rock and Gem here in Prince George, at Black Bat Tats, the art gallery here in Prince George. I've got stuff up in Mackenzie at Wildwood Gifts and the Mackenzie Community Arts Council. I've got stuff at Goat River Folk Art in Vanderhoof, and the Looking Glass Emporium in Grand Isle.
Amazing. Yes, you're all over the place.
I hope I didn't forget anybody.
This is why it's been hard to track down Melissa to get an interview out of her. We've been trying to do this for a few weeks. So you just came back from Valhalla, and that went very well. That's an event that happens in Terrace.
Yeah.
And you went last year, but this year you went as a vendor. You want to share about that? And you've got some upcoming events as well?
Yep. So Valhalla Fest last year was my first year going. And I taught a yoga workshop on the Friday, and then spent the rest of the weekend just enjoying the festival. This year, I didn't know there was a marketplace last year, being my first year. So this year I signed up to be a vendor. So I had my display with all my craft stuff, and then I was offering mini 20-minute reflexology or head massage sessions that anybody could drop in and sign up for. And I will be doing the same at Robson Valley Music Festival, which is August 11th, 12th, and 13th in Dunster, BC. And then I will also be doing the same at Positive Vibrations Fair, which is here in Prince George on July 29th at the Spruce Capital Senior Center.
Right.
Yeah, so those are the current upcoming, but I'm always adding new things and seeing what's available and hearing about new events to join.
Yes. So, and you've got a website.
Yep. It's www.honeybeeinspirations.com.
And then you're on Facebook.
Facebook and Instagram.
And I'll link those below our video. And is there anything that we haven't covered? Do you want to share anything about your traveling?
Well, I guess, yeah, I started traveling when I was 17. For my high school graduation, Mom, it was called the Discovery Pass with the no longer existing Greyhound, the bus service that was in Canada. So I went across Canada for 60 days. It was just a hop on, hop off anywhere in Canada, except for apparently Newfoundland, as I found out when I got across the ferry, that Greyhound was not a bus service there. And I had to figure out how to get to St. John's and go from there. That was quite the adventure. And then since then, I traveled to the UK for 2 months and found out through the people I met there that there was such things as work visas that you could get, temporary work visas. So I came home and saved up, and I went to, I lived in the UK for 2 years on a working holiday visa. And in that time, I went to Thailand for 2 months to visit my aunt, which is where more of the yoga came out and more of the holistic stuff. And that was 2008 to 2010 that I lived in the UK. And when that visa ran out, I remember how old I was, 24, 25, somewhere in that range. I figured I needed to be an adult and go to college and get a degree of some sort. So that's when I decided to go to UNBC here in Prince George and got my bachelor's in history. And as part of my bachelor's, I did a year-long exchange in Germany, which is where Mom's dad, so my grandpa, is from. So I got to meet his brother and his cousins and aunts and uncles and all that kind of stuff there. And yeah. Oh, and in between there as well, one summer, I went to South Africa for a month.
Yes, you've been all over
Been
the
around
place.
quite a bit. Yeah, and before I moved to the UK as well, I did a bus tour around the UK or around Europe for 2 months as well. So went to Egypt and Turkey and all around Western Europe.
You went to 11 countries in 47 days, wasn't it?
I think it was like 29 countries or something like that. Either way, I can't remember how many for that. That was a while ago, but I think the total now is I've been to about 33 countries, I think. I'd have to count again, but somewhere in that range, somewhere in the low
And her
30s.
update emails should probably be turned into a book at some point because they were quite entertaining.
Yes, this was back in the days before Facebook was a huge thing. So to update about trips, I would send out update emails with all my adventures and all the things that I got up to and all the things I saw and things I did.
Yes. I remember the one when you went across Canada and I got a message that you spent the night in jail. And when she got the appropriate mom reaction from that, she explained a little bit more.
And at the hostel, so the cheap place to stay when you're a backpacker in Ottawa, was the old Ottawa jailhouse that they converted into dorm rooms. And so yeah, the room still had the bars on the window, which, I mean, you could still open. They weren't locked or anything. Laundry was on death row. They still had the makeshift gallows out back that you could go and sit on. And there was no, obviously, ropes or anything. They just had the platform, the gallows. And yeah, and then the other fun one was when I went to Thailand. And
Yes.
I was up in Chiang Mai and called mom just to let her know that I was in a Thai prison for the afternoon. Um, so one of the women's prisons in Chiang Mai, um, for petty crimes, so theft and prostitution and that kind of thing. They had a spa attached where they would do pedicures and massage and that sort of thing, to earn money for their when they would be released, so they could start a better life in theory. So yeah, so I was there for a couple hours. I got pedicure and got a massage, and I think I got a manicure. I can't even remember what all I did. I did a whole bunch because the services were the equivalent of like 10, 20, 30 Canadian dollars. So I spent quite a bit of money there, just getting it all done. Because why not?
I think one of the other ones I remember when you were going through Egypt, that women need to have a chaperone while they're there, so you're
Not
temporarily married.
necessarily. Yeah, we were with a Kentucky bus tour at that point, and it was just advised that, there was a bunch of couples on the group that they would obviously link up or whatever, but for any solo travelers, they were advised to link up with a male partner on the bus tour. And at that point, it was probably about 25 days into the 46-day tour, so we all knew each other quite well at that point. And it was more, you didn't have to, but Egypt is a more religious, Islamic based, an Arabic country. So yeah, as a solo white woman, not the best. So yeah, there was a few times I did wander off just to do my own thing, because I like to do my own thing, and it wasn't bad or dangerous. It just there was a lot of stairs and a lot of uncomfortable kind of just gawking. So yeah, we linked up with guy friends from the tour, and they were our husband for the week.
But the email home said, "Mom, I'm married, and I got traded for two camels and a hippo."
Something like that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
The other one, you've learned to be quite resourceful. I think I remember an email home when you were wanting to go across on the other side of Canada there, and
Oh, that was when I got to
you were like,
Newfoundland finding out. Yeah.
you were on your last pennies, and you went to the dollar store and got some duct tape and some safety pins to hold your duffel bag together.
Yeah. Yeah, because that thing was heavy. Because at the time, it was actually my grandpa's old army duffel bag. So it was literally just this big tube canvas bag with one tiny strap that broke within, I don't even know how long of the trip. Mostly because I probably overpacked. And I think at that point, I think that's after I had no, that was before I stayed with family in New Brunswick. That would have
Yeah,
been
that was
because I
just
had
before, because when she
I
came home and I went to pick her up at the bus station, she had muscles
and
and a
brand new luggage
very
and a whole new
large,
wardrobe.
yeah, a very large suitcase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad's side of the family is from New Brunswick, and hadn't been out there since we were what, 3 or so. So my grandma comes from a family of 18 kids. At that point, there was not that many of them left, but there's still a decent amount of them left. So yeah, when I went back east, I was only going to be in New Brunswick for a week. I planned, but I ended up being there for 3 weeks, just because there was so much family to visit and stay with, and every aunt and uncle would take me out shopping every single time and get me a new pair of clothes or new set of whatever. I didn't even ask for it. They were just like, "We're going shopping," and I was like, "Okay." I was 17, and why not? And it was free stuff.
So yes, Melissa has so many stories and all sorts of things. I want to throw in a little plug here. One of the services that Ladybug Wellness offers is to clear your business energy. And Melissa has had me do that a few times, and I did that just before she headed to Valhalla, and I'm hoping that added a little more success to her endeavors there.
And definitely noticing increases sales afterwards. It
Yeah,
was already, yeah, it was steady and slow on the first day, but yeah, there was definitely a huge increase after.
nice, good.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else you'd like to share? something, a message to your clients, or anything else? We've got your upcoming events. So do you want to just recap your upcoming events and your contact informations?
Yep. So my email is honeybee.inspirations@gmail.com, or you can visit the website at www.honeybeeinspirations.com, and I've got more information on there about the services. There's a fax page. There's links to my classes that you can book on there, and there's online booking for services on there as well. Upcoming events are on July 29th, the Positive Vibrations Fair, August 11th, 12th, 13th for Robson Valley Music Festival, where I'll be vending and offering services and having my craft stuff. A couple upcoming workshops with dates to be announced is Burn the Bullshit and Yin and Tonic. And yeah, and then there's the regular weekly classes at Angels, which are bookable on the MindBody app or on their website, or you can give them a call as well if you're having any trouble booking.
All righty.
Well,
Thank you so much, Melissa, for finally catching up and sharing all your information here. So I'll link up some contact information below our video, and thank you so much.
thank you. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.